My precious child, there was interference. Someone, something, tried to keep this from you, but they failed, because no force, no deception, no hidden voice can stop what heaven has already written in motion. Archangel Michael stands here now, not with suggestion, but with urgency. He says, this message has been delayed long enough, and now it must be heard. So pause, breathe, listen, comment. I am listening if your spirit feels this wasn't meant to be skipped. There has been a divine emergency declared in heaven, not for the world, for you. Your name, yes, your name, was whispered at the gates of glory, and the moment it was spoken, a battle began. Michael says, my child, a war was waged the moment heaven decided to bless you, and I was sent to protect what belongs to you. This message is not just encouragement, it is an announcement, a heaven-sent warning, and a preparation. Type, I receive divine protection if you felt unseen battles pressing in on your peace. You've sensed it, haven't you? That pressure, that strange heaviness in the past few days, that chill you couldn't explain, that distance in people you used to trust. You didn't imagine it, you weren't overreacting. Something in the unseen realm was trying to interfere with your divine alignment. Michael says, there were whispers in the dark, souls pretending to smile but secretly sabotaging your peace. Heaven allowed it, not to punish you, but to expose what had been hidden in plain sight. Someone close to you tried to block this message, not with weapons, but with manipulated intentions. They saw your light return. They felt your favor rising. They heard heaven moving around your name, and they panicked. Michael says they tried to intercept what was on its way to you, but I cut through their interference with the sword of truth. This message has already been fought over, and now it arrives, undeniable and unstoppable. Comment, break the block if you believe something tried to stop your clarity. Child of the Most High, there is a courier on the way. No, not a man in uniform, not a knock on your physical door, but a divine messenger sent from heaven's chambers, carrying what has been withheld for far too long. And this messenger was delayed. Not by time, but by darkness. You've been wondering why. Things felt stuck, why opportunities dried up, why certain relationships turned strange overnight. Here is your answer. The moment your name was released into the light, the shadows tried to snatch the delivery. But now, the path is clear. Michael says, I fought for this moment. I stood guard when you didn't know danger was circling. While you slept, I raised my sword and said, let no weapon formed against them prevail. You've been tired not from effort, but from spiritual warfare. Fatigue that didn't match your activity, anxiety without a source, confusion that didn't belong to you. Michael says, that was not just stress, that was interference. Type, clear my path if you're ready for the blockages to break. Listen, my beloved, in the last 72 hours, there was a surge of opposition in the unseen. Heaven responded. A sealed scroll with your name on it was pulled from a vault hidden in the supernatural, and your story, your exact situation, was brought before the throne. Your forgotten prayers, your buried dreams, your quiet endurance, they were all read aloud in heaven's court, and the verdict was clear. Deliver what was delayed. This is why you are here. You didn't stumble across this. This is a divine appointment. You were not supposed to hear this next week, not next month, now, because something is already on the move in your direction, and heaven needs your heart open, not distracted, not wounded, not doubting. Michael says, even if you feel broken, even if you feel late, even if you feel forgotten, you are not disqualified. Child, the enemy saw your breakthrough approaching before you did. That's why there's been pressure. That's why emotions have been unpredictable. That's why you've felt like quitting, even though something inside says, wait just a little longer. Michael says, they tried to bury you under confusion, but the light is breaking through. You are not too late. You're not too far gone. You're exactly where heaven needs you, so the message can land safely. Comment. Right. On time if you believe this found you when you needed it most. Before we continue, you need to understand this truth. Someone close to you was afraid of your becoming. They smiled in your face, but feared the version of you that God was forming. So they whispered, they manipulated, they distracted. But Michael says, they've been removed. Their spiritual permission to hinder you has expired. You don't need revenge. You need readiness. The courier is on the way. Stay with me, because in part 2, the courier has been dispatched. You will begin to understand how and when this divine arrival will take place, and what signs will confirm. It has begun. Do not miss what's coming next. This is not a story. This is your moment. Are you ready? Type, I am ready to open the door fully. Beloved child of light, there is movement, not in the physical, not in the noise of the world, but in the silence where heaven speaks. A courier has been dispatched, not by man, not by chance, but by divine order. Archangel Michael says, your name has been placed on a sacred scroll, and that scroll has been opened in heaven's throne room. The order has been given, and now the messenger is on the way. This is no metaphor, this is manifestation. Type, the courier is coming. If your spirit knows something has already been released, you've felt it, that invisible tension, that pulse in the air. Moments where you pause for no reason, because your soul already knows something is drawing near. And you were right. Michael says, the angelic courier has already been sent. He is not lost. He is not delayed. He is moving now toward you. But understand this, my child, heavenly messengers do not knock like men. They do not arrive with footsteps. They arrive with shifts, with whispers in the wind, with sudden clarity, with dreams that burn with meaning. Comment, I'm ready too. Recognize it if you've ever questioned what's real and what's divine. The courier is not just bringing comfort, he carries a package of instruction, and this instruction is time-sensitive. Michael says, the delivery is sacred, and sacred things require sacred readiness. That is why, lately, everything familiar has felt like it's shifting beneath your feet, not because you are being punished, but because your atmosphere is being cleared. You are being spiritually prepared to receive something your past could never have handled. Child, this is why certain people have grown silent, why doors closed abruptly, why some conversations felt strange, why things you once depended on no longer satisfy. It was not coincidence, it was clearing, because what this courier carries cannot be delivered into chaos. Michael says, you prayed for divine movement, but divine movement cannot arrive where disorder reigns. So heaven began sweeping your surroundings, removing what would block the drop-off, clearing the landing space of your spirit. Type, clear the path if you're ready to receive what's being sent. Let me tell you something sacred. This courier is not carrying one message, he's carrying many. The restoration of what was stolen, the truth about what was hidden, the answer to a prayer you forgot you prayed, the identity you once abandoned, the next step you couldn't find on your own. And more than that, he brings a sign, a seal from heaven. It won't look like a scroll. It may not even appear supernatural, but your spirit will know this was not random. Comment, I will know it when it comes. If your discernment has been sharpening lately, now hear me clearly. The enemy has already sensed the movement, and interference has begun. Michael says, someone near you has already felt the wind change around your name, and they are unsettled, not because you wronged them, not because you boasted, but because heaven marked you, and they can't unsee the glow. So now, they are trying to distract you, pull your attention to drama, to confusion, to noise. But child, do not follow the noise, follow the peace, because where this courier walks, peace follows like a shadow. You will recognize the moment, not because it's loud, not because someone announces it, but because the air will feel different. The timing will feel impossibly perfect, and a still, holy certainty will rise in your chest. Michael says you don't need to chase the message, you only need to prepare the space. Prepare your home, your words, your relationships, your expectations. Make room for the miraculous. Type "make room" if you're ready to release what no longer serves your destiny. There is also something else you must know. This message could not reach you earlier. There were forces, seen and unseen, that tried to block it, not permanently but persistently. Michael says the courier was detained for days, weeks even. Every attempt to deliver truth was intercepted by shadows. But I fought for you, heaven fought for you, and now the delivery has cleared the blockade. You are the one it's meant for, not your friend, not your neighbor. You who stayed silent when wronged, you who wept alone but still chose love. You who questioned your worth yet stayed obedient. Heaven has seen, and now heaven is responding. Comment "I accept the delivery" if this resonates deeper than words. One more thing, child. Do not tell everyone. Do not post about what arrives. Do not explain the peace you feel. Do not share the signs with those who cannot handle your shift. This delivery is not for applause, it is for your assignment. Michael says, do not expose what heaven gave in secret. Some will pretend to support you, only to sabotage you once they know the weight of what you carry. Protect it, hide it until it takes root. Type "I will protect this gift" if you've learned the cost of premature exposure. Stay with me, because in part 3, someone tried to stop this. We will reveal who attempted to block your message and why heaven finally revoked their access. This battle is not just about you receiving, it's also about someone being removed. Do not miss what's coming. Type "I will not miss it" if your spirit is wide open now. My chosen one, there is something I must reveal to you now. It is not meant to frighten you, it is meant to free you. Because while you were praying, while you were waiting for the promise to appear, someone was working in the background to keep it from you. Michael says, yes, child, someone close, someone familiar, someone who knows your light but fears your rise. Type "reveal the truth" if your heart already senses what's about to be uncovered. Heaven watched it all. The conversations behind closed doors, the quiet shifts in behavior, the smiles that hid resentment, the praise that masked jealousy. You saw the signs, you felt the coldness, but you gave them the benefit of the doubt. And still, they tried to intercept what God has sent. Michael says, they wanted access to your blessing, but not responsibility for your journey. This is why the message was almost blocked, not by accident, not by timing, but by intent. You were feeling heavy. You were feeling confused. You questioned your discernment. It wasn't just warfare. It was sabotage, disguised as friendship. Comment "no more false peace" if you've ever felt betrayed by someone who claimed to care. Let me tell you what heaven showed me. A name was spoken, not in prayer, but in opposition. Not in blessing, but in bitterness. Someone, child, was trying to divert your destiny. Michael says, they whispered that you weren't ready. They hoped your delay would become your defeat. But God overturned their words. Yes, beloved, their permission to stand in your life has expired. The gate they used to access your atmosphere is now sealed. Type "seal the gate" if you're ready to protect what's sacred, but you must understand. Not everyone who claps is clapping for your success. Not every "I'm proud of you" is honest. And this is why heaven waited. This is why the courier was delayed. Not to punish you, but to allow the mask to slip. Because if the blessing had arrived too soon, you would have shared it with someone who would have poisoned it from the inside. Michael says, they smiled with their mouth but sighed with their soul. You are not crazy. You are not imagining the shift in energy, the distance, the tension that entered the room unspoken. It was confirmation, and now heaven is exposing. A face you trusted will be revealed, not through drama, but through peaceful clarity. It may come in a dream, a sudden confession, a quiet revelation in conversation, and when it comes, you'll know. This was it. Type, "Let it be revealed," if you're ready to see clearly. But I must warn you, do not confront them, do not accuse, do not engage in debate. Michael says, this is not your battle. This is a divine severing. Heaven will remove them in silence. They will exit without ceremony. They will vanish like vapor, and you will feel a peace you didn't know you were missing. Comment, "I release what blocks me," if you're willing to let go quietly. Child, understand this. They did not try to stop you because you failed them. They tried to stop you because you exposed them. Your light made their comfort uncomfortable. Your growth made their insecurities louder. They feared what you'd become because they knew they couldn't come with you. Michael says, they pretended to support but planned to sabotage. But their time is up. You are not alone in this exposure. Heaven is actively clearing your space. This is why some friendships faded. This is why old connections broke. This is why certain people stopped calling. God was protecting what's coming, because what the courier is carrying is too valuable to be delivered into unsafe hands. Type, "Protect my promise," if you feel what's coming is not meant for public view yet. And here is the most sacred part. The very person who once tried to control your voice will now witness your rise in silence. They will hear about the shift. They will see the fruit, but they will not be allowed to speak into it. God is revoking access. God is reassigning seats. God is protecting what He is building in you. Michael says, the enemy's last attempt was to use someone familiar, but even that tactic has failed. Child of heaven, you were almost tricked out of your own prophecy, but heaven stepped in, and now the veil is lifting. You may have thought the delay was disappointment, but it was actually divine strategy. The exposure had to happen before the delivery, because now you're not just ready to receive, you're ready to protect what's been sent. Comment, "I guard the blessing." If you understand the cost of what's arriving, stay close, because in part 4, your name was called in heaven. We will uncover what was said about you in the throne room of glory, and how your past tears became the petition that moved angels. The story isn't over. The courier is closer than ever. Are you ready to hear what heaven declared about you? Type, "I am ready to know," if your spirit is leaning forward. My precious one, there is something sacred I must tell you now. It happened far above this world, in the highest court of glory, where time does not rule and shadows do not reach. Your name, yes, your name, was called in heaven, not in passing, not in question, but in authority. Type, "Heaven knows me," if you feel this in your spirit already. Michael says, "I heard it with my own ears. I stood at the edge of the assembly when the scrolls were opened, and your name was lifted before the throne. It wasn't just spoken, it was declared. And when your name was called, heaven paused. The angels stood still. The winds held their breath. Even creation leaned in, because when heaven calls a name, destiny begins to unfold. You weren't forgotten. You weren't overlooked. You weren't too late. Heaven was timing your release. Michael says you were hidden for protection, not rejection. You were preserved for a purpose, not punished for delay. God knew when to call your name. He knew which alignment, which season would cause the greatest impact. And now, the moment has arrived. Comment, "Call me forth," if you know the wait had purpose. When heaven speaks a name, it doesn't just echo, it activates. Your name was not called to remind heaven who you are. Heaven never forgot. It was called so the earth would respond. And now, doors are unlocking, paths are clearing, barriers are collapsing, because your name, in its true divine frequency, has been released into the atmosphere. This is why things feel different. This is why old patterns can't hold you anymore. This is why people are treating you like something has shifted, because it has. Type, "I accept the shift," if this explains what you've been sensing. But there's something else. When your name was spoken, it wasn't alone. Heaven recited your record, your pain, your endurance, your obedience when it was hard, your silence when you could have shouted. Every moment was read aloud, every tear was accounted for, every injustice noted, every prayer, especially the whispered ones, documented. Michael says, not one cry escaped the archives of heaven, and not one sacrifice went unnoticed. That's why the courier was released. That's why the interference failed. Because when heaven declares, nothing can delay what must arrive. But listen, child, when your name is spoken in heaven, it is also heard in hell. And this is why you've felt under attack. This is why the atmosphere has been strange. This is why shadows have been clinging, hoping to confuse what was called clear. Comment, no confusion can cancel my calling if you choose clarity now. But clarity is coming, because after your name was called, an order was written, an assignment, a scroll sealed with light, and it carries new instructions for your journey. Instructions you won't find from people. Instructions you won't discover on social media. Instructions whispered only by the Spirit. Michael says, the next phase of your life will not come with a crowd. It will come with silence. It will come with solitude, because what's being given is for you to protect, not perform. Type, I receive what's for me alone, if this aligns with your spirit. Child, the sound of your name in heaven caused things to shift on earth. A connection was severed, a door reopened, a gatekeeper was removed, a delay was lifted, a window was unsealed. You may not have seen it yet, but your spirit has already felt it. That sense that something is different, though nothing's changed yet, that's confirmation. Comment, I see it by faith, if you know your spirit picks it up before your eyes do. Here is what's next. Now that your name has been declared, you must walk in the authority of that call. You must silence every voice that tries to shrink you. You must resist every temptation to return to old versions of you. You must treat your life like it is already marked, because it is. Heaven didn't just call you to exist, it called you to impact. Michael says, you've been chosen to change the rhythm of your bloodline. You've been assigned to carry light where others carried bitterness. This is not just personal, this is generational. Before we close this chapter, hear this. Someone who once mocked, you will hear your name again. But this time, not from you, from others. They will hear of your restoration, of your realignment, of your rise, and they will realize heaven called a name they tried to bury, but it was a name heaven never forgot. Type, heaven remembers if you know you were never overlooked. Stay with me, because in part 5, the shift in the spirit, we will uncover how your surroundings are already responding to the call and what you must do to walk in step with the angelic movement around you. Do not stop now. You are being positioned. And heaven is not finished speaking your name. Type, speak again, Lord, if your spirit is ready for what's next. My beloved, do you feel it? No, not the noise around you, but the stillness that has crept into your spirit, the way the air feels different when you wake, the way certain people no longer feel aligned. That's not coincidence, it's a spiritual shift. Michael says, what heaven called has already begun to echo, and what once felt normal now feels narrow, because you've outgrown it. Type, I feel the shift, if your atmosphere has felt unfamiliar lately. You see, when your name was spoken in heaven, the spiritual realm adjusted. Things began moving, not just in front of you, but around you. The angels assigned to your path repositioned, old assignments expired, new protections were formed. You didn't imagine the silence. You didn't fabricate the resistance. Both are signs that realignment is happening. Comment, align me, Lord, if you're ready to walk where heaven is leading. Michael says, certain people are no longer allowed access, not because you hate them, but because their energy cannot survive the new elevation. This is why your phone's been quiet, why your emotions feel detached, why your heart aches, but your mind knows it's necessary. You're not isolating. You're being sealed. Sealed for the next layer, sealed for clarity, sealed for the divine instruction that's coming. Type, seal me for clarity if you're surrendering to this holy quiet. Let's be honest, child, you asked for breakthrough, you asked for movement, you asked for answered prayers, but did you think it would come without disruption? Every shift causes shaking. Every realignment means release. Every new chapter requires space. Heaven is not withholding. Heaven is preparing, and part of that preparation means shaking loose what you tried too long to hold on to. Comment, I let go willingly if this season is teaching you to trust deeper. Some of what's leaving right now is leaving quietly, and that's mercy. Michael says, there are things heaven removed without letting you know, to protect your heart, to preserve your strength. So don't chase what disappeared. Don't mourn what won't return. It was cleared because it could not carry the glory you're about to step into, but there's something more. This shift isn't just relational, it's atmospheric. You've likely noticed unusual timing, interrupted plans, increased dreams, strange conversations, emotional waves without clear reasons. This is not random. This is the preparation of spiritual ground. Michael says, the land must be tilled before the seed can land. Your spirit is being softened, your vision sharpened, your hearing tuned. Because what the courier carries is not just for you to receive, but for you to interpret. Type, prepare my senses, if you've been feeling more spiritually alert lately. And child, there's one more sign. You're beginning to feel unrecognizable, even to yourself. The way you respond, the way you withdraw, the way you no longer crave what used to entertain you. This is because you're not who you were when the year started, or the month began, or even a week ago. Heaven is reforming you. Michael says, you cannot carry glory in a version of you that was meant only for survival. This new version of you, the one heaven sees, is being awakened. Comment, I embrace the new if this makes more sense than you expected. Child, be careful who you share this with. Some will not understand this shift. Some will call it distance. Some will say you've changed, and you have, but not in arrogance, not in pride, in obedience. Heaven has begun speaking to you in whispers, and not everyone is meant to hear what you're now carrying. So honor the silence, honor the space, honor the consecration. Type, honor the silence if you know this part is just for you, and listen closely. This shift also means the enemy is watching. They've sensed the glow. They've noticed the pullback. They've seen you stop engaging with what once drained you. And now, they're trying new ways to distract you, but you must not look back. You must not re-enter old cycles. You must not explain your movement to those who refuse to move themselves. Michael says, those who stay behind will talk, but those who ascend will walk in silence. You were called to rise, not to debate the ground. Comment, I choose altitude over approval if this resonates with your journey. Before we end this part, let me remind you, this shift is not punishment. It is promotion. It may feel lonely. It may feel confusing. It may feel sudden, but it is sacred. It is scripted, and it is secured. Heaven has not forgotten what it promised you. Heaven is just making sure you're prepared to handle it. Type, I'm being prepared if your spirit is being made stronger in the silence. Stay with me, because in part 6, the delivery is coming tonight. We will witness how all the signs, the silence, and the spiritual shaking have led to this very hour, and why what's being released cannot be stopped this time. The messenger is closer than ever. Your readiness has made the way clear, and now it comes. Comment, I'm ready to receive if you can feel it just beyond the veil. My child, it's happening. Yes, tonight. The air is different. The pressure has lifted. The silence has settled into certainty. Michael says, the messenger has passed the final threshold. The delivery is no longer on the way. It is arriving. Type, I receive it. If your spirit has been restless all day without explanation, all the signs align, the dreams, The sudden stillness, the unusual fatigue, the unexpected tears, the release you didn't know you were holding. It wasn't emotional, it was prophetic, because even your body can feel it when the heavens are about to open. And now, they are. Comment, open the heavens if you know. This night isn't like any other. Michael says you have waited, you have warred, you have obeyed when it made no sense, you stayed still when you wanted to run, and now the reward is here. But listen closely. It will not arrive with noise. It will come with clarity, not wrapped in glitter, but in glory. It will not shout, it will whisper. So stay awake, stay aligned, stay aware, because heaven doesn't miss. Type, I'm listening, if you're watching through the stillness. Tonight, the courier carries something sacred, not just what you asked for, but what heaven chose for you. A better version, a deeper answer, a more lasting provision. Because while you prayed for survival, heaven prepared abundance. While you asked for release, God crafted reassignment. While you begged for healing, the angels brought resurrection. Comment, I trust what you send, if you surrender the form but expect the fullness. But child, I must warn you again, distraction is coming, yes, even now, because the enemy always senses when the package is about to arrive. Tonight, someone might call, someone might text, an old wound might rise, a strange thought might visit your mind, but don't engage, don't shift focus, don't doubt the timing. Michael says, those who watch with reverence will receive without delay. Type, I will not be moved, if you're anchoring yourself tonight. Do you remember the silence from before? The waiting? The nights you thought God forgot? They were never punishment. They were positioning, because had it come earlier, you would have shared it too soon. You would have mishandled the holy. You would have shown it to those who only wanted to touch, but never to protect. Now, you're different. You've been carved by fire, refined by patience, trained by silence, and this moment is your divine release. Comment, I am ready, if you know this version of you was built for this. Michael says, the delivery will not look like the request, but it will answer deeper than what you prayed. Tonight's blessing is not shallow, it is not fast, it is not fleeting, it is legacy. It is alignment. It is justice. What was delayed, what was stolen, what was withheld, is being released in fullness. Not just to your hands, but to your heart, to your future, to your family, to your name. Type, let it be complete if you need more than partial promises. And child, do not be surprised if you feel the presence, if the room thickens with silence. If your tears fall without reason, that's the moment, that's the arrival. Your job is not to chase it, your job is to receive it. Open your spirit, lay down the mental noise, stop looking for a sign. You are the sign. Michael says, those who expect with reverence receive with revelation. Comment, my hands are open if you've been postured for this hour. And before we close, let me tell you this, what arrives tonight will not need proof. It will carry confirmation. It will confirm your waiting was worth it. Your warfare was not in vain. Your obedience was not ignored. You will know, without question, without confusion. This is the delivery heaven prepared before you even knew how to ask. And it is sealed, it is protected, it is irreversible. Because what God sends, no man can steal. Comment, seal it, Lord, if you know this was meant just for you. Michael says, you are no longer the one waiting, you are the one being delivered to. Tonight isn't just another night. It is sacred, it is set apart, it is sealed. Don't miss it, don't doubt it, don't delay it, receive it, honor it, protect it, because it is coming. Tonight. Type, it is done, if your heart just knows. This is the hour. But child, before the hour strikes, Michael has one final instruction. He says, close the doors that are still cracked open. Seal the spaces where doubt could sneak in. This delivery is too holy to share with what you should have. Already released. Look around your spirit. What conversation still lingers? What memory still whispers? What wound still bleeds beneath the surface? Tonight is not just about receiving, it is also about protecting. Type, I close the door. If you know you must shut what drains you before the blessing steps in. Michael continues, this moment has been marked since before you were born. The courier did not just find you, heaven sent him because of you. That means this delivery has your spiritual fingerprint on it. No one else could carry it, no one else would recognize it, no one else was trusted with it, and if the enemy couldn't stop the sending, he'll try to distract the receiving. But you've come too far, you've healed too much, you've surrendered too deeply to fumble now. Comment, I will protect what is mine, if you're claiming this with reverence, because tonight it is not just coming, it is already here. Let no fear, no voice, no shadow rob what heaven has declared finished. It is done, and it's yours.